It's time to talk about Forever Evil, the story in which the villains won. What the f***?
You said the villains won.
But the heroes win in the end.
Spoilers!
Hi, I'm Jason Inman, and I like to read comic books. That's why this week I decided to review and recap all of Forever Evil. All 7 issues, all villains, all the time. But before I get to that, don't forget to go to majorspoilers.com, the website where they know that you love comic books, and we do too. Now enough of this jibba-jabba, let's talk about some Forever Evil. Forever Evil was a 7-issue miniseries, written by Jeff Johns and drawn by David Finch. But before I can get to talking about the nitty-gritty, I have to give you a recap of the entire series. So I'm going to do that right now in less than 10 seconds. There will be huge spoilers. Get ready, set, begin. The crime syndicate from Earth 3 shows up. They beat the Justice League. Then they unmask Nightwing. Then Batman teams up with Luthor. Bizarro hugs Luthor. Bizarro hugs Luthor again. Nightwing's dead. Nightwing's alive. The Justice League shows up. The Animator shows up. And that's it. Woo! Barely made it over that finish line. Alright, so let's begin to talk about what Forever Evil did right. They brought the multiverse back in a big bad way. Now, Trinity War was the event right before this. In Trinity War, you just thought it was about the Justice League Dark and the Justice League of America and the Justice League all fighting each other until you find out at the very end that it was all about the crime syndicate coming from Earth 3, which was a very powerful twist. And to introduce these villains of the multiverse, and you find out that they're running from something. They're running from something in their world. It's something that DC has not really taken advantage of. Ever since 52, they've only like here and there like dabbled in the multiverse. Like Final Crisis went crazy with it. Countdown to the Final Crisis went even stupider with it. But it's a big asset that DC has that I don't feel they use enough. Another cool element of that was the alternate Shazam being Alexander Luthor. Now that's kind of twisting the nut a little bit on Infinite Crisis, because if you remember back in Infinite Crisis, Alexander Luthor was one of the surviving characters of the original Crisis on Infinite Earths back in 1985. But here he's crazy, we give him a beard, we make him alternate Shazam, and it makes things wacko. And then of course you can't talk about this series without talking about the crazy twist ending of the Anti-Monitor being back. That the Anti-Monitor is in the new 52 and he's looking for Darkseid. Now he looks kind of different from what he did in the original days, but I'm excited by this because the Anti-Monitor is a character that I've always liked. He's especially great if you ever watched Green Lantern the animated series. He's really cool on there. He's the big villain of season 2. Whoops, spoilers. But there's spoilers around this whole thing, kids, so chill out. But now that he's back, and all of DC's monthly, or actually weekly titles are all stopping in April, I think it's pretty certain that we're going to have some sort of crisis-type event in April. Now, you cannot talk about Forever Evil without talking about who I feel is the best character in this entire book. And no, it's not Lex Luthor, it is Bizarro. Bizarro was fantastic in this book. Just for the fact of giving him a name that was B0, having the fact that the reason why the backwards S is because he's too stupid and he puts the shirt on backwards, and that when he sees Batman hug Dick Grayson, he also hugs Luthor. Those are brilliant character moments because Bizarro is a character that can either be taken to exact extremes. He's either very, very stern and scary, or he's very, very goofy and stupid. In the early 2000s, he was so goofy, like, me, I'm Bizarro, me go do this. And John Byrne made him silent and very scary. So it's nice to see this happy little medium where it's like he's the perfect character that you want to love, that Tumblr people would just gift the hell out of. He is a great action figure. It was a great character design. This was the best character of Forever Evil. Now let's talk about the bad of Forever Evil. Number one that we have to talk about is the delays. We had a 2-month delay between issue 6 and issue 7. Now normally that wouldn't be a big deal, but when you're in a connected universe and you have other events like Superman Doomed and issues of Justice League that give away what happened in the conclusion of Forever Evil, then that gets to be a problem. Also, the whole idea that previews spoiled what happens to Dick Grayson. Now, I am a very patient comic book fan. I was one of the fans who was buying Ultimates #2 and waited the year and a half between Ultimates #2 issue number 12, it's very confusing, to Ultimates 2 issue number 13. A year and a half, my friends. Way too long, but I waited. But this was a little ridiculous, and I like David Finch's art, but he took way too long with this. He needs to speed up his game, or DC needs to mosey on away from David Finch, because that is one thing that I appreciated with DC. Even though you get some bad backups here and there, I appreciated that DC, since the New 52, has been like, we're publishing monthly. Another bad thing is the reveal of Nightwing's identity. This screams like it is a leftover of Dan DiDio's just constant threat of wanting to kill Nightwing. If you don't know the story, Nightwing was originally supposed to die in 2006's Infinite Crisis, and they changed it at the last minute to make it Superboy, Connor Kent. But Dan DiDio has always felt that Nightwing is redundant, that if Batman has Tim Drake or Batman has Damian, why does he need Dick Grayson? Because I don't see that making Dick Grayson become a secret agent adds anything to his character. It doesn't add anything to his character at all. It doesn't add anything like making him Batman would, or even I think just making him not be a hero would. The fact that Batman's like, oh, I got a secret mission for you. You can go be James Bond, sleep with some women, use some gadgets, and you can still use your name. You wear a G on your chest. That's what you're gonna do. It just seems a little ridiculous and a little hokey. I'm a big fan of Dick Grayson. I'm a big fan of Nightwing, and I hope that this status quo doesn't last very long. And of course, now that Lex Luthor knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman, Dick Grayson is Nightwing, the whole world knows that Dick Grayson is Nightwing, why can't the whole world figure it out just like Lex Luthor? They should be able to figure this out. It is not rocket science. You can look at the same 4 pictures of newspapers that Lex Luthor has on his iMac and figure it out just like him. It just seems like a shock decision that wasn't thought out, or will be reversed, or will be mind wiped away in probably a year. And so it seems like, why should we do this? It's the same thing as like Spider-Man's big identity reveal. Less than a year later, we had one more day and everybody forgot about it. I have a feeling this will be the exact same thing. This is too big of a genie to leave out of its bottle. Then we also have all the amazing death and destruction. Not really amazing, but just shocking death and destruction. Atomica gets crushed by Lex Luthor. What is the deal with DC not being able to have an event unless somebody's arm gets chopped off? It happened in Final Crisis. It happened in Infinite Crisis. I believe it happened in Identity Crisis. Like, people's arms just got to be totally blown off, or it's not a DC event. Let's just chill this out, you know? There could be some kids reading this here and there. I know that's very unlikely, but there could be some kids reading. Why do we got to have like blood and guts and all this stuff over? Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm an older reader. That's totally, you know, I'm an older dude. I'm not 13 years old, and I like these books, but I don't even feel the need to have this excessive violence. Like, I just don't get it, and there's no story reason besides just to be shocking and to provide, to be like, hey, look how adult and grown up we are. We can put some blood on there. We could, look, it's not a good book unless you have 5 decapitations. You know what I'm saying? It just makes no story sense, and it's nothing but like shock value. So overall, Forever Evil was a pretty fun event. It was neat to see the villains team up. It was neat to see this new Bizarro. It was neat to see Lex Luthor and Batman having to work together. It's very convenient that Batman was the one Justice League member, of course, that didn't get sucked into Firestorm. But, you know, there was a little bit of a feeling of this, that it really kind of seemed like a little bit of fan fiction. You know, it seemed almost like it was Jeff Johns' attempt to retell Infinite Crisis in a different way. Like, we have these other invaders from the multiverse, right? We have this reveal of Alexander Luthor, and we have Lex Luthor getting to exact his revenge at the very end. A lot of very similar beats to Infinite Crisis. But, you know, it had some fun moments, had some great beats. I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with Lex Luthor. I don't know how they're going to do this Batman reveal, or how they're going to keep this in play for a long time, but we will see, you know, that's the thing about it. Overall, I would give Forever Evil 3 out of 5 stars. But I would say this, it is not an event for somebody who hasn't been reading DC Comics for a long time. If you don't know anything about DC Comics continuity, you are going to be so lost. This is a heavily steeped fanboy continuity tale, and that's about it. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to go to majorspoilers.com and you can read some comic book reviews there, and guess what? This weekend, this Friday, you're going to hear me and my Geek History Lesson co-host Ashley Victoria Robinson host an episode of the Major Spoilers Podcast, our review of X-Men Days of Future Past. Go check that out. You can go find my links on Twitter at Jawiin, and don't forget to go listen to my podcast, Geek History Lesson, at geekhistorylesson.libsyn.com, and leave in the comments what you would like me to review next week. Tell me what you thought of this review. If you'd like me to do more things like this, let me know, friends. Let me know. And as always, I love reading comic books. I hope you do too. Be seeing you. I'm Jason Inman.
What's your name? You are a god among insects. Never let anyone tell you different.
Hey everybody, it's our After the Credits time, and real quick I want to give a big shout out to Lexi Poe. She also has a YouTube channel called Knits and Nerdy. Now she sent me an early birthday gift. My birthday is June 3rd, so if you want to send me a birthday gift, just let me know, you know what I'm saying? And she sent me this knitted Superman. It is fantastic. It is amazing. There's a certain name for what this is called. I don't quite remember. It is intense, the level of detail on this Superman. But it's, you know, just like, you know, just imagine, whoosh, imagine the hours of fun I'm going to have with this. Whoosh, whoosh, oh. Oops, sorry, Lexi. It was carpet. That's fine back there. Anyways, she has a great channel, Knits and Nerdy, and if you go over there and you like her channel as well, you know, you can probably convince her to make a video on how she made this awesome Superman, my friends. Or, you know, maybe convince her to make a Superman for you, you know, if you pay her enough scratch. So, yeah, Days of Future Past. We have a podcast, Major Spoilers. Go listen to that. It's going to come out this weekend. It's going to be really cool. You should go check all that stuff out. And, yeah, I got a lot of big things coming up. I have some videos that are going to be coming up. Some Loot Crate Trivia Challenge is going to happen again. And hope you all go see X-Men Cats. That was a video I just made. If you haven't seen X-Men Cats, there's a link in the description down below. Go watch X-Men Cats. And you know, that's about it. Hope you like these reviews. It's a short After the Credits vlog. That's all I got, friends. Bye-bye.